Welcome back to ARC Florida. There's lots of misinformation online when it comes to nutrition and what to do for weight loss. Will fasting help you lose the weight? What about eating 5 small meals a day?
Well, Brogan Morris is going to the experts to bust some of those myths. Take a look.
Hey guys, it's Brogan with What's Good For You, and today I am here with board-certified nutritionist and author Petronella Ravenshear. And today we're going to go over 3 nutrition myths. So the first one, I think this is something that so many people have recently started doing, but fasting for as long as you can and not eating as long as you can is a good way to lose weight.
Yeah, that is such a terrible myth. It's so unfair. I used to have a private clinic in London, and I saw a lot of ladies in their 40s and 50s who they found themselves putting on some weight, so they eat less and less, they do more and more exercise. But actually, when we're out of balance, the most important thing is to start the day with a good quality breakfast. And it doesn't have to take a long time, but we'll go on to that later when we're talking about really quick, easy, nutritious breakfast made of whole foods, no ultra-processed foods. So we need to eat 3 meals a day, always combining protein and carbohydrate. And the carbohydrate is vegetables or fruit. That's really, really key.
What about bread? Do you say steer clear of bread?
Steer clear of bread, yeah.
Everyone is so terrified of carbs. I feel like at some point, maybe pre-workout or something, they're good for you. But if you just load up on carbs, would you say that that's probably not good for you?
Yeah, I mean, like you, Brogan, you're physically active, so you can get away with eating a lot more carbs than a lot of people can. But yes, we need to be careful of the refined carbohydrates like bread and rice and pasta, because ultimately they break down to sugar, and that sugar is easily stored as fat, which we don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not using that immediately,
exactly,
it sits there and stores as fat.
It sits there and stores as fat.
So before workout, good to go. Eat those carbs. But if you're going to sit after it, maybe steer clear and stick with some fruits and veggies instead. Because those are carbs. People think that they're not, but they are.
They are carbs, exactly. They're carbs with benefits.
Yes. Exactly. With vitamins and healthy
yeah,
things for you.
Fiber. Yeah.
So what about intermittent fasting? Do you think, because the myth right now that we're talking about is just never eating as long as you can. But a lot of people are also intermittent fasting right now. Would you say that that's still not great for you?
I think it's great. If you're in balance and you don't need to lose weight, it's a really healthy way to go, because when we're fasting, we actually increase the amount of microbes, good microbes in our gut. One of them is called Akkermansia. And it sounds really creepy, but it nibbles away at the lining of the gut, making it stronger, less leaky. And it only does that when we're fasting. But for people who've kind of lost their balance, lost their mojo a bit, want to lose weight, it's no good. It's just another stressor. It increases our cortisol levels. So really, the way to go is to eat 3 times a day. Protein, carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, as you said, meaning fruit and veggies, not bread.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm happy with my weight, I'm not trying to lose 20 pounds, you would say intermittent fasting's okay.
It's great.
But if
Absolutely.
I am trying to lose weight, steer clear of that.
Steer clear. And it sounds very counterintuitive, the idea that you have to eat more often if you're trying to lose weight, but we need to keep the metabolism active,
right,
and keep our blood sugar levels stable. Those are the 2 most important things. And
absolutely. So myth number 2 actually is eating little and often keeps our metabolism going, which helps us lose weight. So we were kind of talking about that.
We're kind of talking about that. But eating little and often means, especially if we're eating even good carbs like apples, means that we're producing too much insulin. And insulin is our fat storage hormone. So we need the insulin levels to be low enough for glucagon, another hormone but one that burns fat, to come up and to help us burn the fat. And I studied a program called Metabolic Balance in the UK, a German doctor, and he was saying to us, if you eat little and often, if you eat 3 meals and 2 snacks, you're always producing too much insulin. You will never ever be able to access your fat stores for energy. And that was like sacrilege to us, because when we were training in nutrition, all our teachers had little jars of nuts and seeds in front of them, and they just nibbled on them like squirrels all day. And we thought that was the only way to go, but he said, we want to keep insulin levels low so you can burn fat, so you have less inflammation. 3 meals a day, that's it.
Wow, that makes so much sense because I've always been, you know, eat every 2 to 3 hours and eat 5 meals a day. I'm not always successful at it, but I tried that for so long and I never lost weight. And this makes a lot of sense. Drop those insulin levels so that you can really get into that fat storage.
Exactly.
You know, and that way when you're walking about or even just your daily activities, you're burning that
You're
fat.
burning fat, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Good. The other thing about insulin is it's a pro-inflammatory hormone. And you know, the World Health Organization tells us that 74% of annual deaths worldwide are avoidable. They're due to lifestyle diseases, such as producing too much insulin because we're eating too many carbohydrates and we're eating too often. And that puts us into a state of inflammation. And inflammation drives all those diseases. So we just say no thanks. Yeah.
Wow. So inflammation, bloating, all these things that
All those things.
all of us deal with, me especially. Steer clear of the pizza and eating constantly.
Exactly.
Sounds like, you know, not rocket science.
No, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Okay, so our third and final myth, 0-calorie snacks and drinks are a great alternative to the regular stuff.
Yeah. On paper, it seems like such a good idea, and you think things like aspartame, it's got no calories. But going back to our caveman days, it's that sweet taste in our mouth that the brain comes to expect energy coming in the form of calories. So it literally allocates energy around the rest of the body. And then suddenly the brain realizes it's starving. And so that drives us in search of more food. So actually, science research has shown that the people who drink low-calorie drinks or 0-calorie drinks end up eating more food.
Gosh. Petronella, you're killing me because I love 0-calorie drinks. And we were actually talking before this. I have been drinking Zevias, which are, you know, they're stevia soda.
Yeah.
But you said stevia, not so bad.
Stevia's not so bad. Aspartame, sucralose, all those ones are really bad. I mean, they're just chemicals that really decimate our microbes, our friendly gut microbes, and leave us hungry and inflamed.
And eating more,
And
which
eating more.
we don't need to be
No, we
doing,
don't need
not
to be
always.
doing.
Okay,
Exactly.
well, now if you are hungry,
Yeah.
should you eat or try and fight it a little bit?
If you're hungry, the best thing for you, and I know this sounds quite patronizing and annoying, is water. Because when we're hungry, our stomach shrinks, right? And this hormone called ghrelin comes out, and ghrelin travels to the brain and says, you better eat something. But if you have a big glass of water, like a pint, ghrelin literally goes away. And the hunger goes.
And I have actually done that so many times. I tell everyone, you know, if you're hungry, try drinking an 8-ounce glass of water first and then see if you're still hungry.
Exactly.
Because it really works.
It really works, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'm very
well,
glad you
this
discovered
was
that.
just great, and I think
Thank
so
you.
informational. And I love being able to bust myths and make sure that people know the right things coming from experts. So thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us
so
today.
much, Brogan. It was a pleasure.
And that
Thanks for
is what's good for you.